Hello everyone. Evanescence is basically the Immobilize version of perfect dodges. You will know you've pulled off Evanescence when you see a slow backflip from the Immobilize. Not only does it increase the Immobilize duration and the damage taken by the enemy, but it also gives you around 30 seconds of cooldown back, which is the best part, but strangely not in the talent description. With this cooldown refund and some cooldown reduction equipment, you can permanently immobilize bosses and get a huge damage bonus on top of it. It's really a high risk, high reward skill. Because the talent description is very vague, I've done a lot of testing to figure out the mechanism of Evanescence. Here I will first show the conclusion of my tests. It functions basically the exact same as perfect dodges, but instead of pressing dodge, you press immobilize. And the perfect window for most attacks is around 100 milliseconds. Next, I will show you how I got the conclusions. If you are not interested, feel free to skip the next section. First, I will quickly go over how I did the tests. Assuming the x-axis is time, and the green bar is the perfect window of immobilize. Red bars are the bad timings. So I did a lot of runs trying to trigger Evanescence either early or late in the attack, getting some data points near the edges of the perfect window. At the same time, I also got a lot of failed attempts outside of the perfect window. Now, if I measure the time difference between the furthest successful data points, I will get the lower bound of the perfect window. And from the closest failed data points, I will get the higher bound. All the clips shown later are the data points that I used to calculate the bounds. The first attack I'm showing here is the starting tail attack from Scorpion Lord. Let's first use the clips of early and late Evanescence to calculate the lower bound. The lower bound is 5 frames. And now, the failed early and late attempts to calculate the upper bound. The upper bound is 6 frames. Something I want to mention is that both early and late failed attempts, if they're close enough to the perfect window, will put your immobilize on cooldown. So that's why Evanescence is very risky. The second attack I was testing against is the shockwave attack from Jingshi. The lower bound is 7 frames. The upper bound is 8 frames. So for these two attacks, the perfect windows are actually different, which is consistent with my personal experience. Some attacks are just harder to perfectly dodge or immobilize. For most attacks, we can estimate it to be around 6 to 7 frames, which is 100 to 120 milliseconds. So how does the Evanescence window compare to the perfect dodge window? I have also done similar tests with perfect dodges, and my conclusion is that they have basically the same window, both in terms of length and timing. Okay, we're now officially done with tests, and let's move on to some tips on how to play Evanescence. Every boss has different immobilized resistance, so sometimes even with the immobilized soak and Evanescence, the freeze is not long enough to charge up a 3 focus point smash heavy. One way to solve this problem is with the talent Piece from Peril. With this talent, you can charge up focus points and use perfect dodges to keep them, so there's a better chance to do the smash heavy before the immobilization runs out, like this. From here, I will show you some of the builds that I recommend. First of all, there are these equipment to lower the cooldown of Immobilize. Tridakna Pendant, Mother of Flamelings, Vajra Arm Guard, Slumbering Beetle Husk. Although the brown set 4-set bonus says it reduces cooldown of Immobilize upon crashing the immobilization, after some testing, I realized it doesn't stack with the cooldown reduction effect of Evanescence. And the additional damage upon crashing the immobilization is not very impressive. So I can only recommend this set if you really like the black immobilization effect on the enemy, or if you're still practicing Evanescence. After trying many different combinations, my favorite build is pairing Tridakna Pendant with Slumbering Beetle Husk. As long as you can drink once after a perfect immobilize, you can have immobilize back before the boss attack again. And with this build, you only need 1 Curio and 1 Soak, so you can pair them with any equipment and spirits that you like. Even if you miss the Evanescence, you can still play the build you have with minimum impact. If you want to play rock solid, I would recommend full Iron Tough set and non-able spirit. I have a full guide on rock solid on my channel, so feel free to watch it for details. If you prefer Cloud Step as your second spell, then you can use the Yaksha set to maximize the unveiling strike damage after Cloud Step. Here I will show you an example against Tiger Vanguard on game cycle 10. To start, I'm using the same trick to get 3 focus points with a perfect dodge. After I hit the perfect Immobilize, I get 4 focus points, then I Cloud Step. Drink once to get a damage buff and some cooldown back before hitting the heavy smash. Then I drink once more to get Cloud Step back for the next attack, and the same trick to get some focus points. After the Immobilize, same thing, Cloud Step, drink, and heavy. Then drink once more before getting some more focus points. Here I could have charged up again, but I haven't used my spirit, so why not? This was my build in the Tiger Vanguard fight, and my soak setup. Actually, I forgot Breath of Fire in that fight, so I could have done a lot more damage. To wrap it up, I think Evanescence definitely requires a lot of practice. If you like high risk, high reward type of playstyle, you might want to give it a try. This video took a long time to make, so please like and subscribe if you like it. Comment below what videos I should make next, and I'll see you in the next video.